Welcome back, YouTube. Today we're going to be watching another gun fails video. This time it's number 4 from Brandon Herrera, and it looks like he's seen something he wish he could not see anymore. Now, before we begin, Twitch chat, do you have anything you want to say to YouTube before we begin? Alright, without further ado, let's get into it.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say you're not supposed to do that.
Why did that sound like it was a skate that landed? Like, it sounded like a skateboard just wiped out.
What is up, you sexy YouTube mother lovers? It is in fact time to do another episode of the Darwin Awards. Now, as we said before on the channel, guns are awesome. Idiots are not. When those two things come together, some not cool stuff happens. And sometimes that means somebody wins a Darwin Award. Darwin Award meaning you have been removed from the gene pool. Now, the Darwin Awards is usually an opportunity for us to talk about gun safety and where certain people went wrong with things. Today we got some cool stuff on. I've got some stuff on catastrophic malfunctions. Super cool. Can't wait to get into it. But first,
wouldn't a catastrophic malfunction not necessarily be their fault, though?
We have a couple of clips that are probably more in line with what you would come to expect from a video like this one. So let's dive right in. All right, so this first video we have on the lineup.
Oh my god, I was about to be like, I'm gonna need to move my model because I'm gonna be in the way of him, but thank god he moved his model over to the left. I said his model, he's not a VTuber, that's his actual face. Never mind, he's over there. He's over there. Okay, he's on the left now, we're so good. I think I've seen this one too. This looks like it's in Russia. Okay, they have guns. I think I've seen this one.
Polish soldier gets
Never mind, it's Poland, sorry.
Let's give her a crack. Training for some ceremonial thing, clearly. Nice little Polish AK underfolders, too.
Oh, no. Ooh! The professionalism.
What a lad, though, continuing like nothing just fucking happened. See, they got a slow-mo here.
It looks... How do you just keep your composure?
Polish people are just fucking built different. People are talking about, oh my god, this guy got so lucky. Like, that bullet must have just barely tipped the hat and kept going. I don't think he would have really gotten lucky, because if you look over here... Uh-oh. There's not a lot of recoil there. I think these are just blanks, especially if you're doing ceremonial shit. You're not actually just shooting up in the air with, 30 dudes in a field. Typically not a good idea. So the angles of those rifles, I'm thinking there's a pretty good chance that if there were a live round in there, he would have just painted the field with his comrade there.
All right. That explains it a little bit better of why he was so composed with it. Because, like, okay, I couldn't actually have been shot with an actual round there because it was blank. But still, if that was real and I just barely avoided getting my head domed, I don't care what my military training is, I would have turned around and slapped the shit out of that guy. Been one right across the left, one right across the right. It's just like, you idiot. We're supposed to be handling guns properly and we're supposed to be doing a demonstration. You nearly just painted the entire field with my brain matter. Heck no. Dude, he's already balding. You're gonna take off even more of the hair off the head? No. No. Dude, he can't take any more off the top. It's impossible.
Thankfully, though, it did look like they were blank, so you didn't turn this military parade into a military funeral. The next couple videos I've got coming up are something you actually can learn something from. Now, most of you experienced shooters know this, and you know exactly how dangerous it can be when somebody doesn't. Brass. Brass, once it's fired, is pretty hot. Most rifles kick the brass out and away from the shooter pretty decently, but handguns can be a little sporadic sometimes. It's not uncommon for, a new shooter to be shooting, or even an experienced shooter, to be shooting a gun and then have brass go down their neck, or for ladies, you get the picture. It will burn the shit out of you, but it's relatively minor. However, you still have a live weapon in your hand. This is where shit can get a little tricky.
That's why, oh my god. It looks like he's being attacked by a cockroach. But this is why you have to fire a gun in a full body gimp suit. Welcome, chicken. Okay? You wear a full gimp suit, tight as tight can be, cover every inch of your body, wear a ball gag just to be safe, cover every part of your body from head to toe, then you're not going to have this issue. then you're not going to have this issue. Okay, that's why I always recommend doing that. Okay, always recommend doing that. Everyone will be looking at you because you look so stylish. So stylish. Welcome, Robo.
This video showing an accidental shooting at a shooting range in Geauga County Wednesday evening around 6:30.
That is an instance of somebody handling it very poorly. Let's see that again.
The Fox 8i team obtained this video showing an accidental shooting at a shooting range in Geauga County Wednesday evening around 6:30.
See, I know he's caught off guard by the hot brass here, but he's making two big critical
What
safety
did he
errors.
hit?
One, he's got his finger still on the trigger, which is how he was able to squeeze off another round. And two, he's, pay attention to what you're pointing at. Never point a gun at another human being. That's, basic gun safety for like a gun range. Definitely don't point it at yourself. Pro tip. I read more about his injuries. I think he went through one side of his cheek and out the other side.
Oh my God.
This dude straight up Tyler Durden'd himself.
I was about to say that. Fuck. He beat me to the punch. He beat me by 1 second. I was literally about to say he did the one movie that we're not supposed to talk about. We don't talk about it. Okay. The rules are there. We don't talk about it. Okay. Good movie. This is, okay. Fight Club. There, I said the name. Is one of those movies, ladies in the audience, because I know most of y'all here are definitely women, but women in the audience, if you're on like a first date and you ask like, hey, what's some of your favorite movies? If they say Fight Club, that's a potential red flag. It's a good movie. It can be their favorite, but if they say that, you got to dig a little deeper, find out why. Because some people can say it's their favorite and they like it for the story that they're telling and what the message that is going for and everything is, that's good. If they do it because you're like, I really see myself as Tyler Durden, yeah, then that's when you leave. You say you got to go to the bathroom and you walk off. You get the heck out of there. Okay? If that's one of their favorites and they don't have a really good reason why it's their favorite, they misunderstand the movie, that's a red flag. That's a red flag.
It sucks. It's a shitty situation. I'm glad he's okay, and I hope it's a valuable lesson.
I like it because
for everybody,
fuck the government and big banks.
Without having to go through the same shit that he did. Up next, what you know about RPGs. Now, we've talked about RPGs before in the Darwin Awards, but we got another one to look at today. We have what appears to be a soldier or militiaman of unknown origin to me.
Wait, militiaman? Like in the US? I'm fine. Militias are okay. Well regulated. Okay, well regulated. As long as they're not doing anything illegal and they have all the permits for their stuff, that's fine. Whatever. Did you see the whacked out theory where Fight Club is about a dude coming to terms with having his balls cut off? No, and I wish I could go back just a few seconds before I now had the image of that in my brain, even though didn't Tyler Durden try to chop off his other alter ego's balls, which would have also been his balls in the movie? I think that was a thing, right?
Demonstrating the safety features on a loaded RPG set.
Oh no. What the heck? What? I don't care how confident you are that an RPG is in the right safety position or whatever. It's all like, hey, it can't explode because we set it up properly, so it's perfectly safe. I don't care how confident you are. Do not do this. I don't care. That's like being like, hey, here's my pistol. I'm going to put the safety off and I'm going to put the safety on and then I'm going to put it at my head and I'm going to pull the trigger. No, I don't care how confident you are that you put the safety on. Don't do it. Don't do it. This is stupid. If you're going to test something like that, have a robot do this and be off in the middle of a field away from all this to see like, oh, let's test the actual gun to make sure it's good. Ooh, this is so stupid. Have you pre-watched? No. Why do people think I would spend 15 minutes watching a movie and then re-watch it? That would be awful. That would be awful. No. I bet there are people that do that, but that is a waste of time. Oh my, I thought it was going to blow up there.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say you're not supposed to do that. I mean, clearly you can, because he's doing it.
Okay, so it doesn't explode. Oh, thank God.
But man, I don't really have that much faith in Russian safety features. Nope. I guess what he's trying to show off here is that there's a safety cap on top of the RPG rockets, that the rocket isn't technically live, and can explode until you remove that cap from it.
I don't care.
Luckily, nothing bad happened to this gentleman, but rockets and explosives are something I just don't fuck around with.
How the fuck would the camera make it out of that RPG? I don't know. It could be really zoomed in. Maybe the camera wasn't actually that close and they zoomed it in. You know? Have you seen that one video where a guy zooms in on a person on the top of a mountain while he's in his apartment? Maybe they got one of those and they're actually in a completely different zip code. I don't know. Look, when I see someone javelining an RPG into the ground, I'm not going to be thinking of like, oh, well, I know it's not going to explode because the camera, my brain is in fight or flight mode to get the F out of there, even though I'm obviously not there. So, and there's proof that I haven't pre-watched. I thought that thing was going to blow up.
Well, yeah. Even still, you best believe if I find rockets for that thing, I'm not going to be doing this shit with it.
There is no time delay on this. This one's a dummy, but real rockets, there's no time delay. If you were to take the safety cap off and go...
Okay, that's not real, right? That's obviously not real. Okay, that's not real.
Next up, we got a couple of videos of some catastrophic malfunctions. We're going to go over that, but first, these videos tend to get either struck, demonetized, or both, so it's time to thank our sponsor, first of all, for making this video happen. Sponsor of this video is Jake's Mint Chew. Jake's Mint Chew is a tobacco-free dipping alternative. So if you're one of those guys who loves the dip, but you really don't like the cancer part, you might want to look into Jake's. Now, I never personally got into dipping, which means I never really had to quit. But they've got stuff for people like me, too. Things like their CBD citrus, which basically gives people like us, gun people, all the benefits of things like CBD without all the downside of, well, being FPS Russian. If you'd like to check them out, I've got links down in the description and in the pinned comment. I even got a code for you, because I love you. All right, so now we get to...
Wait. How do you make nicotine-free chew? That just sounds like unalcoholic beer. That just sounds like it's going to taste awful and none of the benefits. At that point, I'm just going to choose some bubble gum. Bubble gum is great. Am I the only person who eats through an entire pack of bubble gum in one day, no matter what it is? If I go to the store and I buy a whole pack of it, I will finish that in one sitting. It will happen. I love it. I love gum, but I chew it so fast I don't buy it. I just don't buy it. I remember, you know how people, kids today, talk about how they need to be like, oh, dude, I got to do my mewing streak. That's another thing that they say that you can do. If you chew a lot of gum, you can strengthen your jaw muscle and you can have like a more defined jaw. So you should be doing a mewing streak and chewing like a pack of bubble gum a day.
Down to the fun stuff, catastrophic malfunctions. Now that I say it out loud, not really fun at all, especially for the people involved. Catastrophic malfunction is when the gun fails, but not a normal failure, like a failure to extract or a failure to cycle. It's when it fails in a way that basically blows up the gun. Now, in previous episodes of the Darwin Awards, we've covered a couple of these, like the famous tainted ammunition detonating the AK.
He said taint.
Leveling out the playing field, this first video is for a full auto AR-15.
Oh no. Oh my god.
Oh, shit.
Oh, that's not his fault, right?
Now, there's a couple ways this could have happened. Could have been the infamous 300 blackout sneaking into a 5.56 AR magazine. It could have been something completely different, but what is for sure is that upper went bye-bye. This guy's extremely lucky he was firing this from the hip and not putting that up to his face, because that might have been a much worse day. As we can see from the slow-mo here,
Yeah, I want to see.
that AR upper completely just detonates, goes every which direction. Goodbye to that EO tag. Oh, there it is. This is why you don't let Canadians fire your weapons. That's a joke, Canada. I love you. I don't love your gun laws or your politicians for the most part, but yeah, you guys seem pretty cool.
Do people in I'm assuming people in Canada like Justin Trudeau since he's been reelected at least once. I don't know how long he gets reelected or stuff like that. But every time I hear people talk about him in Canada, they just hate him. Why does he got to get reelected if everyone hates him? It's weird. I've never heard anyone say anything good about Justin Trudeau. It's weird.
So that was an instance of a catastrophic
other than him being
that
attractive
did not result in the injury of the shooter. That's fantastic. This next one we're going to show you, I
Welcome,
know
Zero.
you've seen before, but we're going to come at it from a slightly different angle. This next video is probably now one of the internet's most famous catastrophic malfunctions. It's my buddy Scott with his RN50 detonating on him.
Oh no, it's this one. Oh my god.
So anybody who's seen Scott's video knows the extent of his injuries, and he's lucky to be alive, and he's thankful to be alive as well. Fractured orbital bone, pierced lung, pierced jugular. The guy, oh man, I'm just happy he's still around. But let's see what we can learn from this particular accident. The sad part is, not a whole lot. You see, I can't actually point out anything that Scott did that was incorrect. He's following all the safety rules. He's using a weapon that he's fired multiple times before, shooting in a safe manner from a rest, shooting ammunition that he's been shooting all day. So he has no reason to think that this next round is going to be any different. And yet he's still the victim of a catastrophic malfunction. What he is lucky to have had.
That's the terrifying thing. Is like if someone like Scott, like Kentucky Ballistics, who knows how to shoot a gun, shoots a lot of guns, knows how to prep everything, knows all the rules of gun, proper gun safety, is using something he's familiar with and using ammunition that he's completely familiar with, and this can happen to him. That's terrifying. That is terrifying. You never think of that. That's why I like using handguns. I like the handguns. Big guns, they scare me a little when I use them. Okay, if I'm gonna use them, I like I don't like the big guns or anything like that. If I'm gonna do a rifle, hunting rifle is nice for me. They get bigger and bigger. I'm like, maybe I'll just sit that one out. It was a bad round. Yeah, it was most likely that the round was overpacked. And yeah, not all his fault. Not at all his fault, no. But that's why I love a good old handgun. Love it.
Had his medical training due to his law enforcement background and his father there on site. Otherwise, he may not have been with us here today.
Oh yeah.
So what really
if he was
is
alone,
a teachable moment?
If he didn't put that thumb inside of him, he would have been dead. If he was alone out there, he definitely would have been dead. Thank God, of course, if you're going to go shooting out like that, you need to have someone there with you just in case, obviously. But yeah, if he didn't put that thumb in there, he would not be here today.
Right here. Unfortunately, this is just something that comes with bolt actions or single shots, especially in this case. If something goes terribly wrong, especially on a 50 BMG, a single shot 50 BMG, even if you've done everything right in building that gun, Murphy's Law, something happens, there is nowhere for that energy to go but into the shooter. On a semi-auto, you have an entire receiver and a big-ass spring that is meant to catch the bolt carrier group. It stays in that track. Like the one that we saw of the catastrophic malfunction on the AR-15. The bolt carrier group was still stuck where it would have been had the upper still been there. The receiver caught the majority of the force, where there really isn't anything to catch the force here on these bolt guns. And I'm not saying that single shot weapons are necessarily bad either. I'm saying this is just something that you gotta keep in mind. So even though you could be like Scott here and do literally everything right, shit still happens. The real thing to keep in mind is just be ready for the shit, because the shit is coming.
And it don't stop coming.
That didn't come out right. This next video actually deals with kind of the same premise, but this time not in a 50 BMG, but instead a 7.62x54R Mosin Nagant.
In this video, you see him struggling with a stiff action, then the unexpected.
But how do we get pictures of a planet? How do we have a high-res image of like Pluto and Mars and everything? And then here's like a security camera where it has like a total of 6 different colors it can show at any one time. And it has a frame rate of 1 frame per second. Oh my goodness. I mean, it is from 2012, so, there's that. But man, this is a cheap camera. Goodness.
It happened.
Check the chamber, make sure the headspace and timing was correct and nothing was messed up. Put the 6th round in, lined up my shot, pulled the trigger. Action exploded.
Even though we have a much smaller caliber, that still looks pretty serious. I think the backstory on this one is this guy was actually a gunsmith, which is why he had the tools to, check, headspace and gauges and everything like that to make sure that it wasn't actually the rifle's fault. As far as the sticky action goes, that's kind of just a lot of Mosins. Unfortunately, it does look like he caught a good bit of shrapnel there. You see, it looks like his stock came apart. That's fucking wild.
So I always wear eye protection.
A lot of shrapnel from where it went straight up and it went outwards. Caught some in my face, obviously.
I love the action figure
Cheek
therapy
was swelled
t-shirt.
up pretty good. I just got up. Luckily, I was wearing my safety gear.
Another fine example of why iPro is important. Having some form of iPro is probably the reason why both this gentleman here and Scott can still see today. That's another prime example. Mosins they're not as bad because they do have, you know, the charging handle there, and they've got a little bit more of a track to the bolt versus just a single shot like the RN50. It has a little bit more that captures the bolt if there was a catastrophic malfunction, but it's still not awesome when it happens. Now, he did also mention that he was shooting his own reloads, which definitely could have been the problem. Not saying definitively that it was. I have no idea this gentleman's level of expertise, but that's a pretty big variable. Or it could have just been another example of Murphy's Law. But at least it was 7.62x54R and not something bigger like 50 BMG, because when that happens on a bolt gun, it's, like said, never good. And the next gentleman learned that the hard way. This video I'm about to show you is actually...
Okay, before we go to the next one, I just realized something. Like, there's so many things in our lives are just powered by explosions. Like guns, they're just explosion powered, right? It's like boom, and then it makes the thing go really far. Like pretty much every type of gun does that, except for lasers, I guess. And then cars, don't they just... The engine go because there's explosions inside the engine. What other things are used by... What other things are just powered by small explosions? This is a weird... It's like, look how high-tech this gun is. It's just a cannon. It's just a small little cannon, you know. That's all it is. It's a fancy cannon. That's that car. It's got a bunch of cannons inside of it that makes it go, you know, and it, boom, makes the engine go boom, boom, boom. Combustion, yeah, like, you know, like that. It makes the engine go... It's called combustion, you cavemen. Combustion, explosion, potato. Airplanes, yeah. Look, everything's powered by combustion. Then human combustion, explosions, you know?
Been circulating around the internet for a couple years now, and was the go-to example for what happens when a 50 BMG goes sideways. Already know it's gonna be a fucking crazy video. Live leak up there on the top left.
What's happening?
This is first round out of this new gun.
Oh my god. Help him! Help him! Help him! Put the camera down and help him!
I'm gonna spare you the rest of the audio. You can find this on YouTube if you so desire. So the backstory here is this gentleman was out at the range shooting his new bolt-action 50 BMG from, I think, Vulcan Arms. Notoriously shit rifles, and this guy unfortunately learned the hard way as to why. Thankfully, this gentleman did live, although he had to immediately be rushed to the hospital. So what apparently happened here was the bolt, after it, you know, detonated and freed itself, free willy of the locking lugs, went directly into the shooter's neck, which is a big fucking problem. Again, like said, when bolt guns and single shots fail, it's not really good, especially when you're dealing with a huge caliber like that. That's why, and something that I can attest to as far as designing the AK-50, you have to be very careful about the amount of lug contact that you have, the materials that you're using, the hardness spec, the heat treat, everything. It all has to work together, or else you are shooting a bomb. Thankfully, like I said, the AK-50 is semi-auto, so there's an entire receiver there, recoil spring and everything that is meant to slow down and catch that before it gets to where the shooter is. So
oh my god.
The semi-autos, like, I guess the up-and-coming AK-50, the Serbu BFG-50A, the Barrett...
Wait, did he say up-and-coming? He said the up-and-coming AK-50? This was up and coming. It just took 2 years, which of course it did. It's a whole project. We saw the whole video on it. But I love that he's like, it's coming, and it did come. But it's so funny to hear him say that 2 years ago. He was right, but I think he probably thought it was going to come a little bit sooner when he filmed this. But yeah, don't cheap out on guns. Don't cheap out on guns. Don't cheap out on shoes if you can handle it. Don't cheap out on pretty much anything that your life or well-being is going to be in the hands of. Don't cheap out on like cars if you can handle that. You can get a cheaper one, but don't be like, you know, this one's not as safe, you know. Make sure it's at least up to standard. at the very least. Don't cheap out on any of that stuff that could potentially kill you if it's not good, you know? It's better to just spend the money on that and not have to worry about it potentially getting you 6 feet under.
A2 and M107, those are all a lot safer just by being a semi-auto, but that round still is no fucking joke. I guess summing all that up with the catastrophic malfunctions, I am not railing against bolt guns or single shot guns. I own a couple. What I am saying is you've got to keep this stuff in mind, which means you have to have a lot of faith in both the manufacturer of the rifle that you're shooting and the ammunition and where you got it from. Otherwise, you might end up being the accidental recipient of a Darwin Award. Anyhow, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope it was at least a little educational for you. If videos like this can stop at least one person out there from taking that very uncool trip to the hospital or worse, then I consider this all worth it. Anyhow, thank you for watching all the way to the end of the video. Remember, if you're not seeing 2 videos from us every week, go ahead and check the channel and make sure that you're not missing our uploads. A lot of you guys saying you're not getting notifications, so not to worry, we normally upload either like Monday, Tuesday, or like Thursday, Friday. Got a lot of cool stuff coming down the pipes for you that I think you guys are gonna like. Anyways, that's all we got for today, and as always, I will see you sexy YouTube mother lovers in the next video. Thanks.
Hang on, there's more. There's more, I think. He's usually got outtakes.
This video I'm about to show you has actually been circulated.
Funny. No, don't do number 5. I haven't seen this yet. Don't play it. Don't please shush. Don't spoil it. Don't spoil. Or wait, what did we just do? It skipped number 5 for some reason. That's weird. But yeah. Well, that was interesting. But yeah, now I have a new fear of single shot because I obviously have seen the Scott video where that happened to him. But I didn't even think of like, oh yeah, this is just like an only thing with not an only thing, but it's a much more greater risk for single shot, like those bolt action ones. So now, new fear unlocked. I guess a hunting rifle is not as safe. I guess the caliber depends, but still. That's why I'll stick to my handguns and revolvers. I love me a good old revolver. Love me a good old-fashioned revolver. But thank you for watching, YouTube. Definitely go check them out if you haven't already. And also, leave any other channel or video recommendations down in the comments below. Maybe even come by the stream or the Discord. Links are in the description. But until next time, I hope you all have a wonderful rest of the day. And stay awesome, y'all.